Stephen Davis, do you think that this is why? I mean, tell us more about what message your index is sending about growth right now.
Yes, it's definitely a contributing factor. So if we focus on the trade policy uncertainty piece, that's really skyrocketed since Donald Trump's reelection and accounts for much of the increase in the overall policy uncertainty index that you just showed. You know, it's worth think about what this means for the economy. We'd like businesses to focus on making better products, serving their customers, and creating good workplaces. Instead, they're trying to dodge the tornadoes coming from Washington, many of which involve trade policy. If these slapdash on again, off again tariff hikes stay in place, it means higher costs for businesses and higher prices for consumers. They are already prompting promises of retaliation from Canada and China to raise their tariffs on U.S. goods. Mexico says it will retaliate too. That's bad news for U.S. export sectors. And even if the tariff hikes are reversed, and this is to your point, they contribute to an atmosphere of uncertainty that discourages investment and hiring. And that means fewer jobs for American workers. And one last point on this. All of this undermines trust in the reliability of the U.S. as a trade partner. And that loss of trust undercuts the willingness of businesses, both American businesses and foreign businesses, to invest in the U.S. economy. So it's bad news all the way around, in my view.
So, Steve Liesman, the president's style is very much to keep adversaries and even friends guessing. So it's obvious that if that's the way he's going to go about achieving any major goal, whether it's foreign policy, domestic policy, or otherwise, we shouldn't expect a whole lot of clarity in the next couple of years.
No, but it would be nice if there were some economists around the president who gave him the concept of cost-benefit analysis, right? Which is that maybe you do get something out of the negotiating tactic, but what do you lose when it comes to the way you're going about this process? I think I said pretty strongly yesterday, my objection is not with the president's objectives. That's entirely up to him. But the issue is the process here. Think about what the president of GM has been dealing with the last 3 days. You had the tariffs happen, and now today there's this issue of this carve-out. I talked to an executive at a car company yesterday. They said they didn't know if a product crossed the border several times, if the tariffs would nest upon each other such that the ultimate tariff was much, much higher. What do we want the president of GM to be thinking about? The next model, the competition with overseas. But they have no idea what their cost basis is going to be. So perhaps this is a strategy that works in negotiation. But I think that the cost of that strategy needs to be considered and the ultimate impact on business of this kind of uncertainty, even when he's trying to do good things like bring back manufacturing to America. Who doesn't want that to happen? But you got to step back and say, what's the process by which this is happening? And is there a cost that is, at least in the short term, outweighing the benefit?
Or I'll call you Professor Davis. I'm not sure if that strictly applies. But it's been surprising to me the extent to which consumers seem to have a lot of tariff uncertainty factoring into their confidence and spending. We're kind of more used to this on the business side. Also, going back to the first administration, a lot of people said the fact that those tax cuts went first took a lot of the sting out of tariffs when they happened. And tariffs, of course, are smaller than they are now. And so we are also facing this kind of double-barreled uncertainty, tariff policy on the one hand, and will those tax cuts and when will they, get extended?
Yeah, I think that's exactly right. The tax cuts and some of the regulatory moves by the Trump administration and the first Trump administration did boost growth and jobs in the United States, and they kind of overwhelmed the negative effects of the tariffs. So that's, as you say, the best we're going to get now is a continuation of the previous tax cut, not a new one. In addition, the other thing I'd note is the tariffs we're talking about now, especially this reciprocal tariff idea that President Trump mentioned in his speech last night, would take us to a place we haven't been in the last 75 years. So it's a more aggressive move away from low tariffs, full trading order led by the U.S. that we've grown accustomed to.